Alright, so the next day was the big event, and we had this whole plan set out of what we were going to do. Ashley decided that she wanted to just go to a bunch of the keynotes and panels and just kind of chill out and relax a little and not spend the whole day standing in line. One thing that we wanted to do together was we wanted to go and go see David Levithan. David Levithan, he wrote Will Grayson, Boy Meets Boy, Two Boys Kissing, Every Day. And we wanted to go see him. And we both brought our copies of Will Grayson to go see him. And Ashley, she decided she wanted to try and see if she could find something to eat before. So I went to go stand in the David Levithan line. On the website, it says that his signing is going to be at the Blue Bicycle Books courtyard. I couldn't find the courtyard on my own, so I went to ask a volunteer at Blue Bicycle Books. And I was like, hey, where's the courtyard at for David Levithan's signing? And she was like, oh no, his signing is here. Like in the tent. David Levithan's signing is not in the courtyard. It's in the tent, apparently. And so I was like, all right. Went to the side of the tent where there were these two lines already started. And I was like, which one of you is the David Levithan line? And they both shook their heads and like, I don't know. So we got there 2 hours earlier. And I was like, oh yay, we're going to get to start the David Levithan line. That's so cool. Yeah, that's real cool. I actually have we actually took a picture of us together when we thought we started the David Levithan line. It's so funny. But anyway, I sat there and Ashley, she came and she joined me and she was like, we're starting the David Levithan line? I was like, yeah, isn't that neat? We're going to save so much time. So we sat there for like an hour. It's like 30 degrees outside. Literally 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And we were just sitting there like on the concrete and we're like, I'm cold, very cold, I'm freezing. My fingers are falling off, my nose is gonna fall off, everything's gonna fall off. And so she was like, I'm gonna go see if we can find, like maybe a blanket, that we could buy. And she was like, but how do you want to do this? Do you want to like split the cost for a blanket or what? And I gave her 20 and I was like, just go for it, just do the best you can. And so I waited a little longer, and some of the people that were in our David Levithan line, I noticed they started to get up and leave, and I was like, okay. So I waited. Ashley still wasn't back yet, and I was like, you know what? Something about this just doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong. So I decided to get up and ask a different volunteer where the David Levithan signing is. And she told me it's still in the courtyard. Where's the courtyard? I have been misled. So she took me to the courtyard and I got in the actual line and there were some people in front of us, but it wasn't bad. The important thing was that we made it and we were there. And so I got there and I texted and called Ashley and I was like, hey, we made a mistake. I'm at the actual David Levithan signing. It's in the courtyard, and if you can't find it, ask somebody and they'll help you. And so she did, and she brought us. I thought she was going to buy like one blanket because the place we were at, I looked in some of the stores and they seemed very expensive, so I was thinking a blanket was going to be like $40. It turns out she found like a little Walgreens thing. And they had like $17 blankets, and so we each got a blanket, and they're very soft, and I actually still have mine. Wait. This is a good blanket. This is the blanket that kept me warm and kept me from freezing to death before meeting David Levithan. Very soft, very good blanket. It's also, like, it's very good. And so we cuddled up in those and just kind of waited, and she was like, I figured I'd get 2 blankets for each of us instead of 1, because when we go back home, how would we work that out with sharing a blanket? And I was like, I could have weekdays and you could have the weekends, but... But anyways, we waited in line for David Levithan, and we both only had 1 book for him. I would have brought more, but I don't know. I wasn't sure how yallfest was going to work out, and I thought it was going to be a whole lot worse than it actually was, like people-wise and line-wise. I was thinking I wasn't going to be able to get everything signed that I wanted to, so I decided to pack more on the light side. So, I don't know. I was just... I know better for next year. But with her David Levithan line. He was very, very nice. I got a picture with him. I got a picture with all of them. But it was good. It was really good. I liked it. And so then I ran off to go see Leigh Bardugo, which I have been saying her name wrong for the longest time. I've been saying Leigh Bardugo. It's actually Leigh. There's something for you if you didn't know how to pronounce it either. But yeah, Leigh Bardugo. So if I say Leigh, I'm very sorry. I'm still trying to get used to saying Leigh. I've just said Leigh for so long, that's just what comes to my mind. But anyway, so I ran off to go see Leigh Bardugo. I literally stood in line for 3 hours because I was there 2 hours early to stand in the line, but then it took an hour to get through the line. And again, this is another one of those where it was like I was excited, but I didn't know how excited I was until I actually got up there. Because by the time I actually saw Leigh, I started vibrating again. I was like, it's like Patrick Ness all over again. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I got up there and I went up to her thing, and there was the volunteers there, and she was like, oh, give me your books. And I was like, okay, here are my books. And she was like, okay, give me your phone so I can take pictures. Like, okay. Because I'd mostly tried to do like selfies with them because I thought they were a lot quicker than post pictures. And I ended up getting a post picture with Leigh. And she was so nice. But the volunteer, you know, everything was like, oh, go around the table and like this. And so I hadn't really had a chance to talk directly to Leigh yet. So I stood next to her and we got a picture together. And by the time I went back around the desk, both of my books were already signed. And I panicked a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, wait, I need to tell you something. Wait. Because I don't know why, but I just felt like the volunteer was just kind of like pushed me aside and be like, next. But I was like, wait, I need to tell you something. And so Leigh, she like kind of like stopped everything and like put her hands together and just looked at me. And I was like, I absolutely love Six of Crows. I read it months ago, but it has stuck with me. All the characters, they have stuck with me. I still think about them like on a daily basis almost. And she was like, I love that, it's so nice. And I was like, you're welcome. And I went to walk away and she was like, wait, get a button. And I looked down and there's like just a thing of like buttons next to her little tiny thing, and she was like, choose wisely. And so I got one, and I will actually show you that later because I didn't get a lot of merchandise from Yallfest, but I did get some, so I have some of that to show later. After that, I actually went to go to Victoria Aveyard's other signing because late the night before, Ashley and I decided to go to Barnes & Noble, do a late Barnes & Noble run, and so I got the other 2 books in the Red Queen series, and I haven't read them yet, but I was like, Victoria's there, I'll go ahead and get them signed, because then, when I do start to read the next 2 books, they'll be signed, and I can just read the signed books, and that's really, really cool, because there's such a nice feeling about reading a signed book. And so I did that, and I went to see her again. Like, hey, it's nice to see you again. I'm pretty sure the reason she remembered me, though, was because of my hair. It stuck out a lot. It got a lot of attention, and so, I'm pretty sure that's why she remembered me. It's very memorable. And so I did that, and I got the other 2 books signed. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm very tired now. And the next one after that me and Ashley were going to go together was actually the Nicola Yoon signing, because we both read everything within, like, around the same time together, and we were like, okay, yeah, let's go see her together, and I was excited to see her. She's very nice. She was very nice. She's a very nice lady. And so I met Nicola Yoon. She's so nice. Again, there was a volunteer that was taking pictures of me while talking to Nicola Yoon. Like, that happened in the Victoria Aveyard one, is she took pictures while I was talking to Victoria, took pictures while I was talking to Nicola Yoon, and, I was just talking to her about her book, and I was like, I was reading, you know, this book, and I was like, I enjoyed it. I was like, I'm enjoying this. This is a good book. And then, I guess, spoiler alert? Very quick, brief spoiler alert. If you haven't read it or haven't seen the movie or anything like that. And I was like, I really love the plot twist with her mom. And Nicola, she was like, I'm really glad you enjoyed it, because I've had like 5 people come up to me today and tell me that they hated it. Nicola, she had people come up to her in her line and tell her that they hated her book and they hated that plot twist. And I was like, I'm very sorry, but I did love it. You did a great job. You made a good book. And so she thanked me, and I went on my merry way. And Ashley kind of wanted to stick with me for the rest of the day, which I was fine with, but I really wanted to go to the Ask Me Anything LGBT panel that has David Levithan in it, and I was like, I really want to go to this, and she was like, okay. She wasn't really all happed up about going to it, but she didn't feel like great. She was like, I'll go. So she went with me, and we went to the panel, and I enjoyed it very, very much. It was very comfortable. It was fun. A lot of the authors talked about some of the books they were writing, some of the books they had already written. Also, Zach Brewer was there, which was very, very cool. Zach Brewer wrote the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, which I haven't read all the books, but I read the first one, and I can remember being like 11 years old, and I remember that I read that first book. I would read it all the way through, and then immediately after finishing it, I would start to read it again. I don't know why. It just kind of like stuck with me a little bit. But he was there, and that was really cool. And there were some other authors, which there's one, Mackenzie Lee, I think it was her name. Alex something and Tim something, and I'm very, very sorry. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'm not very familiar with the other authors that were there, but some of the books that they talked about they had been writing, and some of the books they had already written sounded very interesting, so I've actually looked into some of their other books, but I'm just not overly familiar with them yet. We'll get there. It just felt very good. It was very, very fun. But then after that was the YA Smackdown with Tiger Beat, and that was so cool. That was so fun. Oh my gosh. When we went to the Ask Me Anything panel, we reached a point where we were just like, I'm tired. I'm not really looking forward to the rest of the night. But then like the finale was so fun. If you ever go to YallFest, make sure you go to the YA Smackdown thing, the finale. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Basically what they did was they did so many things. One of the things that they did was they had like a lip sync battle between like Team Harry and Team Voldemort, where they were dressed up as different characters and it was so funny. It was hilarious. And there was that. They also did something called Juvenalia, I think is what it was called, and basically what authors would do is they would read like pieces from like their old journals or diaries or whatever, or maybe like an old poem that they wrote when they were a teenager, and it was so funny. It was hilarious. Oh yeah, they also did something called Epic Speech, where authors would go on stage and they'd like reenact, like they'd do like dramatic reenactments of like things from books, like Zach Brewer, and I can't remember the other author's name. They went on stage and they did like a little excerpt from the Fault in Our Stars, and it was so funny. It was hilarious. It was great. It was so amazing. And then after that, Tiger Beat, they sang a few songs, and Tiger Beat is a band made up entirely of authors, and it was so cool. It was so much fun. The lights did bother me a lot while she was singing because it had like strobe lights and things like that, and so I did end up having to shield my eyes for 90% of the performance, which sucked, but they sounded really good. And we had a really good time. It was amazing. It was great. So yeah, it's basically how the trip went. There wasn't really anything bad about it. It was just great. It was an amazing experience. We had so much fun. And then Sunday morning we went back home. Came back home. But it was so much fun. I cannot wait to go next year. Everyone there was so nice. I felt very at home, weirdly, because I mean, going around, you do start to talk to and start to get to know some of the people that are waiting in line and some of the people around, and a lot of them were very introverted, had problems with anxiety. I met a lot of parents that were waiting in line for their kids that had autism, and it was just, wow, it's just crazy. But it was such a good experience. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. All the authors are so nice. When they talk to you, they treat you like your friends. And I mean, it's sort of like when I was talking to Ashley, because we saw Margaret Stoll up on stage before the finale started. And I looked over at Ashley and I was like, is it just me? Or do you somehow feel like Margaret Stoll is now your friend, even though you know you're not actually friends, but at the same time you feel like you are actually friends? And she was like, yeah. So it was just amazing. I cannot express how much fun it was. It was amazing. If you don't live in South Carolina or anywhere near Charleston, South Carolina, There was also another thing called yallfest, which I don't know much about that because I'm probably not going to get to go to that, at least not for a very, very long time. But from what I understand is, I think it happens in California. And I know James Dashner was there. I know Adam Silvera, he was there. At least this past year, I think, because Ashley was looking into it and she was like, oh, you like Adam Silvera, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, he was at the last yallfest. And I was like, ah. But it's just very, very cool, very, very fun. It was loads of fun, great time. Absolutely loved every bit of it.